Okay, so in this video, we are going to be learning how to classify triangles. Now, there are two ways to do this, but in this video, we're going to be focused on classifying triangles by angles. Before we look at the triangles, I think it'd be best if we first review our angles. So the first angle we're going to review is an acute angle. This angle, as it says, is less than 90 degrees. So it's a cute, tiny angle, which is a good way to remember the name. An acute angle has an angle that is less than 90 degrees. Next one is a right angle, which is an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. So when you see a right angle, it will either have that little box in there, the image should have the little box, but it doesn't, a little box in the corner, or it will directly tell you that it's 90 degrees. And when you see 90, you automatically know it's a right angle. And the last one is an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is the bigger out of the three, an angle that measures greater than 90 degrees. Now, it's greater than 90 degrees, however, it's not larger than 180, because if it hits 180 degrees, that makes it a straight angle. So an obtuse angle ranges between 91 degrees and 179 degrees. Now, there's three types of triangles: acute triangle, a right triangle, and an obtuse triangle. And we get those names, of course, because we're classifying triangles by their angles. So let's take a look at how we can classify triangles by their angles.
Okay, so I have some popsicle sticks, and I'm going to be making our triangles with these. Just a little different way to show you guys what the triangles look like. And this isn't long enough, but let's just pretend that this meets all the way to here. So first triangle we're going to be looking at is a right triangle. A right triangle, we know, is because it has a 90-degree angle. Because we're classifying triangles by their angles, so if it has a 90-degree angle in it, boom, we automatically knew this is a right triangle by looking at it. If it has that little square in there, or if it tells you it's 90 degrees, automatically we know that this is a right triangle. The little triangle symbol. Okay? Just by looking at the angles, we could tell that what this triangle is. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay. Next one is an obtuse triangle. Again, I don't have enough popsicle sticks to make that a little bit longer. So I'm just going to use my marker. Pretend that extends all the way to there. 3 sides. Okay, so looking at this triangle, all triangles we know have 3 angles. 1, 2, 3. Now, just by looking at it, we could tell that these 2 angles right here are acute. They're tiny, because a right angle we know looks like this. It'd be straight. These 2 angles are very tiny. These are acute angles. But this one angle right here is larger. That's an obtuse angle. Okay, so this is the bigger angle, and that's how we know that this is an obtuse triangle. When looking for this type of triangle and classifying this type of triangle, all you have to do is look for the one big angle. Don't worry about the 2 smaller ones. If you could find that big obtuse angle, boom, automatically you know it's obtuse. Don't worry about the other ones. As long as there's one obtuse angle, only one. Okay? All right, let's move on to the last one. Last one we of course know is an acute. We did the right, we did the obtuse. Now let's get to the acute triangle. The acute triangle is pretty simple and easy because looking at the angles, they all have acute angles. So there's 3 angles, all of them are acute, 1, 2, and 3. All these 3 angles are less than 90 degrees. So we know that this is an acute angle. triangle, excuse me, an acute triangle, okay? I'm just going to show you guys another way that a problem may come up. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys another way that a question may ask you to classify angles. Now, they might give you some pictures like we just did, and they'll ask you to classify the triangle. Or they might say a triangle has an angle of 35 degrees, 50 degrees, and another 35-degree angle. Given these angles, if they give us the angles, just by looking at the ones that they give us, we can automatically classify triangles just by looking at their angles, even when they're given to us. We just have to identify them. So we got to think about when we reviewed our angles in the beginning of this video. 35 degrees, is it acute, obtuse, or right? Well, it's less than 90 degrees, so I know that it's an acute angle. Okay? 50 degrees, same thing. Less than 90 degrees, so it's an acute angle. And 35 degrees, another 35, acute angle. So when we have 3 acute angles, we know that this triangle is an acute triangle. Okay? Let's do another one. Okay, if the question asks, let's classify a triangle by its angles that have an angle of, let's say, 45 degrees, another 50 degrees, and 90 degrees. Again, I'm just making these angles up just to prove a point. These aren't true numbers. Okay, so 45 degrees, we know less than 90 degrees. Acute angle, 50 degrees, same thing. It's less than 90 degrees, so it's an acute angle. Now here we have a 90-degree angle, so we know that right off the bat, it is a right angle. Now, again, automatically, when you see that something has a right angle or 90 degrees, automatically, that one angle makes the triangle a right triangle. Simple and easy. Okay? Let's do another one. So if we are asked to classify a triangle by its angles, and they are given to us, say if we have a 107-degree angle, let's say we have a 35-degree angle, and then a 75-degree angle. Okay? Let's look at the first one, 107 degrees. We know that this is an obtuse angle because it is larger than 90 degrees. So, obtuse. Now, we can stop right now because we know a triangle is an obtuse triangle when it has one obtuse angle. We don't even have to worry about the 35 and the 75. When there is only one obtuse angle, we know this triangle is an obtuse triangle. We don't even have to worry about these others. Obtuse. When it has one obtuse angle, it is an obtuse triangle. I know I sound repetitive, but I'm going to drill this into your heads. Okay. Okay, let's do one more example, and then I think you guys will be ready to do the IXL. Another way that it may come up is it'll give you the triangle, like so, okay? And it might give you the degrees inside of it instead of in like we just did before. So it may come up as 90 degrees, like they write it inside the triangle, 90 degrees, 45 degrees, another 45 degrees. And they may ask you to classify this triangle just by looking at the picture. Now, again, we're either looking for a right angle or an obtuse angle because then we automatically know that it's right or an obtuse. So right here, I see the 90 degrees. Automatically, I don't even have to worry about these two. I see the 90. I know that this is a right triangle. So right triangle. Okay?
So before you do the IXL, let's just review these 3 triangles real quick. So an obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle, Remember we said that you automatically know an obtuse triangle is an obtuse triangle when there's just one obtuse angle, just one. Then an acute triangle has 3 acute angles, so all the angles are acute. And then a right triangle has 1 right angle, or 90 degrees. Also, if you want to practice these a little bit more on your own, in the volume 2 book on page 919, you can find the section on triangles and maybe practice them a little bit more if you feel like you need the extra practice or extra help. But I think you guys are ready to move on to the IXL now to practice. So do the IXL and